हेलो एंड वेलकम टू माय एकेडमी। पढ़ेगा इंडिया, आगे बढ़ेगा इंडिया। मैं शुभम दुबे यहां पर आपको इकोनॉमिक्स पढ़ाने आया हूं फॉर यूपीएससी एंड यूपीपीएससी एग्जामिनेशंस। यूपीएससी और यूपीपीएससी सेगमेंट के अलावा अदर स्टेट सेगमेंट्स में भी ये बहुत ही बेनिफिशियल होगा और यहाँ पे आपको बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी समझाई जाएंगी और बताई जाएंगी जो आपके डेली पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से और इकोनॉमिक्स रीडिंग को भी और अच्छा करेगा। लाइकवाइज द न्यूज़पेपर विच यू रीड फ्रॉम डिफरेंट पर्सपेक्टिव्स, आप इंडियन एक्सप्रेस पढ़ते हैं या आप द हिंदू पढ़ते हैं या कोई और इकोनॉमिक टाइम्स पढ़ते हैं या आप दैनिक जागरण या और भी कोई हिंदी न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं या कोई मैगजीन पढ़ते हैं, तो वहां पे बहुत सारे इकोनॉमिक के टर्म्स आते हैं जो कि आपको टफ लगते हैं और आप उनसे कनेक्ट नहीं कर पाते हैं। सो विद मी डेफिनेटली आई विल मेक दिस इजियर फॉर यू और आपके लिए फिंगर टिप्स पे इतना आसान इकोनॉमिक्स बना दिया जाएगा कि आपको पढ़ने में, एग्जाम में क्वेश्चन सॉल्व करने में और आंसर राइटिंग में बहुत मदद मिलेगी। सो व्हाई वी आर हियर टुडे? आज हम डिस्कस करेंगे इकोनॉमिक्स का सिलेबस फॉर मेंस एग्जामिनेशन ऑफ यूपीएससी एंड हाउ इट गोना हेल्प यू इन योर करंट regime and how you will proceed with it. I will tell you today. So let's start with syllabus of economics. First and foremost thing is, with economics we are not reading the core economics. We are reading its applied part in Indian economy. सो हमारा जो भी कॉन्टेक्स्ट होगा वो हम इंडियन इकोनॉमी को फोकस करके लेके चलेंगे और यही चीज एग्जामिनेशन में पूछी भी जा रही है। आपसे कोर इकोनॉमिक्स नहीं पूछा जाता है तो डरने की बिल्कुल जरूरत नहीं है। जिनको लगता है इकोनॉमिक्स इज वेरी टेक्निकल, इट्स अ हार्ड सब्जेक्ट, डेफिनेटली आई विल मेक दिस सब्जेक्ट द सिंपलेस्ट सब्जेक्ट फॉर यू। सो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द फर्स्ट टॉपिक व्हिच इज इंडियन इकोनॉमी and issues relating to planning, mobilization, resources, growth and development and employment. So let me take you to the first topic that talks about Indian economy. And issues related to mobilization of resources, I would add planning and other issues associated with it. So Indian economy, first of all, here we will be dealing with the sectors of economy. There are three major sectors, that is primary sector, then secondary sector, then tertiary sector. Apart from it, two more sectors are in talk, that is quaternary and quinary. All this I'll be dealing in my classes one by one when I'll be starting economics as a lecture. I'm keeping it short because it is important to understand the syllabus first and then we'll go further for the classes. So, in the Indian economy context, the major importance is of planning. The historical part of planning that started with Planning Commission in India and now it is Niti Aayog and its different frameworks. The taxation policy of government, which helps the government to execute its plans through its expenditure methods, which we'll be dealing here. Apart from it, the government policies and other resources and its use at the same time. All these will be covered in the very first topic, which is Indian economy and issues related to planning, mobilization of resources, growth, development and employment. Here we will also be dealing with the growth versus development theory. Here we will be discussing different parameters like for growth prospect, growth engines, different prospects like GDP, the human development reports, and other parameters where we will be talking about per capita income, education level, and other levels, which will give you a holistic view of Indian economy and its issues related to it. For this, I will again tell you what can be the sources. First and foremost thing is to get a historical background of Indian economy, you must read the class 11th NCERT on Indian economy. Class 11th Indian economy. That book gives you a basic idea of historical background of Indian economic development, step by step, from an agricultural economy to industrialization to services. How and why we shifted to different levels and how it helped us in different sectors of economy. Fine. Apart from it, to get some basic context of economics, you must read 3 chapters, that is chapter number 2, chapter number 5, and chapter number 6 of class 12 macroeconomics NCERT. This will give you some basic understanding of national income and other important contexts of macroeconomics. Because overall, we will be doing the applied part of macroeconomics. That means we will be reading economy as a whole for our entire country. Next to it, the another topic is inclusive growth and issues arising from it. This particular topic is very important because inclusion is the motive of every government of India. How we are including the people to the society, how we are mainstreaming them, and how we are helping them to become empowered, to become independent for living being, for their livelihoods, and for other measures will be covered in your inclusive growth topic. This inclusive growth gives a lot. You might have heard about sustainable development goals. These goals are also influenced by inclusive growth and inclusive development. There is a minute difference between growth and development that we'll be also dealing in our classes. For the inclusive growth part, there is one very favorite topic of UPSC, that is financial inclusion, and you can see many points have been associated with it. This is important from your prelims point of view as well as your mains examinations point of view. For financial inclusions, the DBT thing, the Jan Dhan Yojana, and other things are there for financial inclusion. NPCI also helps in financial inclusion. This was 2017 prelims question in your UPSC examination. Let's talk about the another topic, that is government budgeting. We know at every step government budgeting is very important. How it is very important, you all know. What is budget? First of all, we must know budget is nothing but the annual financial statements of governments. What these annual financial statements include? It includes the receipts and expenditure. Receipts means whatever government is receiving in the form of monetary value or in the form of value is receipts, and whatever government is spending for different measures is their expenditure. So budget is nothing but the management of receipts as well as expenditure. This topic has its importance from prelims point of view and mains point of view as well. What in government budgeting will be dealing with? The taxation system, the government receipts and government expenditures, planned expenditures. Unplanned expenditures was a thought of history. Now everything is in an expenditure. So we'll be talking about the expenditures. Expenditures are of two types, that is revenue. Same is with the receipts. Plus capital. Capital expenditure is something which makes investments, which will further give you, which is an asset in fact, and which will further give you some profit. Revenue expenditure is an expenditure based on consumption. All these things will be covered in your government budgeting part, government policies, the new policies for making financial inclusions, inclusive growth, for the development of the society, economic growth, for economic activities, so many things which will be dealing with it. See, there are two major documents which are very important from your examination point, and you must not avoid it. Whenever it get published, like economic survey, which tells you about overall health of economy with its different chapters. It is being published in the last of January, mostly in two parts, part 1 and part 2. This time government has published it, and there are so many important chapters with different sectors of the economy, from state of economy to manufacturing to services to agriculture sector to employment sector, different sectors, different grooming sectors. So you must know all these facts from economic survey. It makes more importance in mains examination and as well as in prelims examination. How it is important from your mains perspective? The data, the topics, the analysis is done is very much useful in writing the good answers in your UPSC examinations. So you must read the economic survey. There are summaries are available. Some classes will be conducted by us. So that will help you. Apart from it, every year's budget plays very significant and important role to showcase government's perspective and government's plan for the economic growth and development of the country. So it is very important from your examination point of view, and for that, first and foremost thing is there are different budgeting processes. Different type of budgets are there, and then there are processes relating to budgeting. How a budget is being processed, what are the steps, that will be dealing in our classes. The outcomes of the budget, what are the important points, key terms in the budget, what is budget deficit, how government is planning. You might have heard about FRBM Act. What are the government plans for the fiscal consolidation? Then we'll also talk about cooperative federalism and competitive federalism. At the same time, we'll talk about the Finance Commission, which talks about the grants and other things. We will also talking about the taxation process of the government and how government is making these taxation process more helpful for generating receipts, revenues, as well as for making it customer friendly. So keep with me and stay with me. I'll definitely make economics the best subject of your life. Next to it, this is majorly a geography topic, but yes, we'll be dealing with the economic part of this geographic topic as an economic geography part, because major cropping patterns, it is related to agriculture. Then agriculture marketing is there. You might have heard about MSP, might have heard about PDS and other systems. We'll be dealing everything after major cropping patterns, the Rabi crops, the Kharif crops, different type of irrigation and irrigation systems, storages, you might know, tube well irrigation, tank irrigation, sprinkler, and so many different forms of irrigation system is there, and storage system is also there. There is an important topic of transportation, then marketing of agriculture produce that I was talking about, APMC Act, then ENAM is there. Then other government facilities are there for making agriculture a profitable business in near future, doubling the farmers' incomes, and so many things are there which we'll be dealing with in our classes. Apart from it, see, this e-technology for aid for farmers. You might have heard about soil health card, Kisan Vikas Kendras, Vigyan Kendras, and other sectors are also there for the same thing. Then direct and indirect subsidies. See, now almost most of the subsidies are direct subsidies, and I'll be talking about this because these two are very important from your mains perspective as well as to some extent from prelims perspective at the same time, because the questions are being asked. I was talking about PDS system, its objectives, functions, limitations, and revamping the PDS system, issues related to the buffer stocks and food security in India. You might have heard about NFSA and how government is procuring the foods, procurement, and how government is helping the poor of India and the society which needs. Like for 2 consecutive years, the ration is being provided to people free of cost with the double rationing as well. And so many things are there in your this issues related to direct and indirect farm subsidies and minimum support price. There are few very important topics here, like minimum support price. It's a very burning issue these days. Your PDS system, its reforms, how BAPU can be used, how JAM can be used into this, how other parameters to just to plug leakages. With economy, you will also be understanding the political system, how it is working and how economy will help and how they are also burdening the economy at the same time. So we will be discussing everything from economics point of view, from an economist point of view at the same time. Reason being, you are understanding the subject economy, and economy is more concerned with the overall growth and development here. Why I am saying this? Because until and unless you doesn't attain the growth, the process, the prospect of development will be lagged behind. So with growth, development is at the same time very important, and there is very minute difference that I'll be telling you in my class in the growth versus development theory. Now next to it, the technology missions are there, the economy of animal rearing. You might have heard about Matsya Sampada. There is so many schemes under Prime Minister's scheme related to animal rearing, like fisheries, animals rearing. Why I am including the fisheries? Because fisheries has got very prominent importance in this current regime of the government. Animal husbandry is there, dairy is there, meat industry is there. Then apart from it, wool industry and other industries are also there, which will be dealing. Then the most important topic, that is food processing in India. Why it is most important topic? Because it is employment intensive. For in any food processing industry, you need more and more labor. Rather machines, more labor is required there. That's why it makes more importance, because it may generate more employment. So it is more important. You might have heard about mega food parks. Government is focusing on that as well. Government is making so many mega food parks in different parts of India. At the same time, they are helping through food producers organizations. They are talking about Operations Green. And so many policies for agriculture plus food processing. Why agriculture plus food processing? Because the raw material is being provided by the agriculture or animal husbandry to the food processing industries at the same time. So this makes its importance in mains from employment perspective of view. Now the significance, the locations and upstream and downstream requirements, the supply chain management, all these important things where there is some bottleneck, the government is trying to fix it, and at the same time government is trying to utilize this sector in more potential way, because India is very much important from this point of view. For India, this section can boost its employment at the same time and can also lead for India to become a major food exporting country in the world in the current food crisis of the world. this food crisis has been generated from different point of view, like Russia-Ukraine war is very important context here. So India is also assessing and trying to get the importance in this segment. Now, the another topic is effects of liberalization on economy, changes in industrial policy, and their industrial growth, their effect on industrial growth. This topic has its own importance. Let me tell you how. See, industrialization, very important topic for you to understand from examination point of view. And why? The reason is, see, first we go from primary to secondary, then from secondary to tertiary. What has happened with India in 1991, when India was in a very great economic stress condition? India has jumped from primary to secondary, leaving the primary to tertiary, leaving the secondary behind. Liberalization. Those LPG reforms I am talking about, that will be dealing in our class properly, and I will tell you the pros and cons of this. I will tell you how it has impacted the employment in India, how it has adversely affected the MSME sector in India. So we will be dealing with each and every topic one by one, with different levels of reforms, with different industrial policies at different times, how heavy industry came into picture, then small industries का क्या हुआ, और small industries के बाद आपका जो MSME का पूरा सेक्टर था वो कैसे डाउन हुआ, एंड हाउ कैसे सरकार अभी ये काम करे कि MSME सेक्टर को हम अप करें. ये सब कुछ हम सीखेंगे अपनी सारी क्लासेस में. नाउ लेट्स गो बैक टू द another topic. That is infrastructure. Infrastructure, energy, ports, roads, airport and railways. We'll be dealing with all these in our lectures. तो माई पॉइंट इज कि आपको सिर्फ ये करना है, बस आपको मेरे साथ बने रहना है इकोनॉमिक्स की क्लास में, और इस इकोनॉमिक्स की क्लास में मैं आपको हर एक टॉपिक वन बाय वन, चाहे वो इंडियन इकोनॉमी हो, चाहे वो इंक्लूसिव ग्रोथ हो, चाहे वो मेजर क्रॉपिंग पैटर्न्स की बात हो, इरिगेशन या इरिगेशन सिस्टम्स की बात हो, डायरेक्ट एंड डायरेक्ट फार्म सब्सिडीज की बात हो, टेक्नोलॉजी मिशंस के बारे में हम बात करेंगे, फूड प्रोसेसिंग हो, इफेक्ट्स ऑफ इंडस्ट्रियलाइजेशन ऑन द इकोनॉमी की बात हो, या इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर की बात हो, और इसके साथ एक लास्ट टॉपिक भी है जो कि इन्वेस्टमेंट मॉडल्स के ऊपर है. ये सारे टॉपिक्स मैं आपको इतने आसानी से समझाऊंगा कि आपके लिए अर्थव्यवस्था, इकोनॉमिक्स को समझना बहुत ही आसान हो जाएगा. भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था के बारे में हर एक पॉइंट जब आप जान लेंगे तो आपके लिए एग्जाम को क्वालिफाई करना और एग्जाम में इकोनॉमिक्स के क्वेश्चंस को सही करना बहुत ही आसान हो जाएगा. तो आज की क्लास यहीं तक है, जहां पे मैंने आपके साथ इकोनॉमिक्स को डिस्कस किया है. मेरी जो क्लासेस होंगी आपके साथ वो इंग्लिश में होंगी, ना कि सिर्फ इंग्लिश में या सिर्फ हिंदी में, ताकि दोनों साइड्स के बच्चों को ये कंफर्ट दे और दोनों साइड्स के बच्चे इस चीज को बहुत आसानी से और अच्छे से समझ सकें. सो थैंक यू फॉर टुडे एंड आई विल वेट फॉर यू इन माय क्लास ऑन इंट्रोडक्शन टू इंडियन इकोनॉमी, भारतीय अर्थव्यवस्था का परिचय. थैंक यू सो मच. धन्यवाद आप सभी का. जल्दी ही मिलता है.